All right, everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to the King's Speech. So no big preamble like I promised, I think, on the couple of the other videos. We're getting around to the next two volumes of Yona of the Dawn. So yeah, let's get straight into it without further ado. With Yona of the Dawn, Volume 15, Chapter 83, The Sound of Unseen Tears. And we pick up from where we left off last time with Yona having just been cut across the back by Hyo's henchman. Jeff, everything's dim. I can't lose consciousness, not now. I have to stay standing. And you see her sort of just steeling herself, defend Riri from the drug peddlers. And Hyo's like, what an insolent look. Revolting. Kill her for me this instant. And you see a fool as the sword guy is raising up his sword to strike her down. And you see it, as it's Sinha to the rescue as he comes in slicing diagonal across the chest instead. As Yona kind of slumps to her knees. And she goes, Sinha! And Yun's like, Yona, your back's bleeding. And she's like, Yun, these are the traffickers who bought Nadai into Shinsen. And he's like, what? And you see as Shinha looks down at Yona bleeding, he gets furious as he grits his teeth. And Jeff, one of the other scrubs going, what's with this masked guy? I'll destroy him. And you see Shinha just effortlessly cuts him down. And you see, Master Hyo, it's too dangerous, we have to go. And you see, as he's saying this, you see a splash of blood landing on his cheek as the other guy next to him gets cut down as well with a thud. And you have Yona going, Sinha, wait, I want to question him. And as he turns to look back at her, you see him, Hyo, reaching inside his robe to pull out a sword. Oh, that's badass. Nice. Very nice. And you see, as he does, Yona just lashes out with a slash of her own and cuts him right across the head. I think right across his other scar. As she goes, don't move a muscle. And Yun's like, Yona, you shouldn't move either. And you see Hyo just letting out a loud cry of like, yeah! It's like, my face! You cut my face! And you see him just continuing to scream as he goes, this is unforgivable. I'll never forget your face. I swear I will end you. And you see he's got like just a little cross-shaped X on his face now with the scars. And you see him turning and running away with a dash as you have, oh! And as Sinha tries to follow after him, you hear, Blue Dragon, deal with him later. These young ladies are badly hurt. And you see Zeno helping out Tetra. And you see later that Yona's lying down resting, all bandaged up. And you have Gija going, Her Highness, she's injured. And Yun's like, it's a sword wound. Luckily it's shallow. He's like, what happened? Jeff, a Nadai trafficker named Hyo was holding a secret meeting here. Yona came across him. And Jaeha's like, Hyo? Surei's owner? He's like, I had no idea he controlled this inn. Where is he now? It's like he fled. He's probably long gone. And you see Hyun kind of clenching his Hyun kind of clenching his fist as he goes, I'm sorry. We're here with her, but we thought Yona and the others were safe in the bats. And you see Zeno coming in and saying, Lad, the other young lady needs your assistance. Jeff, oh, so they're more injured? It's like Tetra was stabbed. Jeff, what? It's like a doctor is examining her, but it's pretty bad. I'm gonna help out. And you see Jaeha going, how could this happen while we were out? And Gijo's like, we deliberately didn't bring her with us so she'd be safe. Who would have imagined the person behind the Nadai was here? And you see Huck as he's looking down at injured Yona, he's kind of just clenching his fists. And you see a wah, wah, it's like somebody's crying. It's like, please don't cry. And you see in Yona's kind of dream world, she sees these four like actual Eastern looking dragons kind of huddled together. And as she goes over to them, she's like, are you who I think you are? It's like the white one. You're a Gija? Oh my god. And you see the Gija dragon just slapping itself in the face with its tail. It's like, what's the matter? Why are you crying and slapping yourself with your tail? Stop that. It's a green one. You're Jeha, right? Don't look so troubled. That's not like you at all. It's like, what's wrong, Sinha? Why are you crying? It's like, please don't cry. And you see how she pats him on the head. One of the dragons comes up behind her, starts rubbing her back. It's like, Zeno, huh? Are you trying to heal my back? It's like, I'm fine. It's like, oh, I see. Were you distressed because I got injured? It's like, no need to cry. It's not your fault. I got hurt because I wasn't strong enough. But I did hold my own a little bit. Ira even complimented my form. It's like, hey, Huck. And as she looks over, she wakes up from her rest. And she sees Huck just seated next to her. She asks, Huck, you're back? And he glances over and goes, how are you feeling? Want me to get Yun? And she's like, I'm fine. Where is everyone? He's like, Yun's with... You see Owl just kind of brings her a little peanuts so she can have a little snack, a bit better. You have Yun's with Tetra right now. The dragons are out tracking Hyo, the trafficker who got away. He's the one responsible for channeling Nadai through Surrey. It's like, but it's bigger than that. He's peddling illegal goods all over town. She's like, I see. It's like, I'd never met anyone with such cold eyes before. Stopping him would be the quickest way to save the Water Tribe. Jav, will Tetra be alright? It's like, Yun said he wouldn't let her die, so she should be fine. And you see as Yona's trying to struggle to get up. He's like, ow. He's like, don't move. Let me handle things. He's like, I just wanted some water. And you see Huck kind of just gently cradling her and helping her sit up. And he puts the robe around her shoulders. And you see Yona starting to blush. He's like, huh? Why am I getting nervous? You're a boom, boom, boom. He's like, now that I'm paying attention, I'm not exactly decently covered, am I? And you see her hand is trembling, and Huck just kind of takes it and gently places it on her lap and goes, try to relax. Let me take care of things. He's like, Huck's speaking right by my ears. He's like a thump, thump, thump. You have a gulp as she tries to swallow the water too quickly and coughs. He's like, I forgot how to drink without choking. He's like, did you get it down? It's like, yes. Like, I'm not even sure I swallowed it. It's like, I wonder, what's wrong with me? It's like, you're being awfully kind today. He's like, hey, ouch. Have I ever not been kind? It's like, you have to ask. And she's silent before she goes, Huck, I fought with a sword. I did it like you taught me. I held my own. If you hadn't taught me, things would have gone much worse. So you. She's like, so. And you see Huck kind of just giving her this emo-ass look. And she goes, don't look that way. Don't look so tortured. He's like, Huck. He's like, I don't need more water. He's like, if I were stronger, if I were strong enough to fight on my own, I wouldn't let anyone look so sorrowful. If that was how things were, would Huck smile? He's like, princess? It's like the way he used to. It's like, are you in pain? Should I call Yun? She's like, no, it's nothing. It's like, nothing? But you looked so... She's like, Huck, none of this is your fault. So please, don't feel responsible for me getting hurt. These are my injuries. She's like, this is the path I'm on now. This is the path I've chosen. So don't be sad, Huck. What I need is for you to guide me. Please don't feel responsible for me getting hurt. And he goes, easier said than done. You're too important to me. And he looks all melancholy and brooding again. Jav, Town of Sensui, Water Tribe. Jav, welcome back, Master Hyo. I thought you'd be in Shishen a while longer. And he goes, I can't go back to Shishen. I'm making a deal soon, so I'll run things from Sensui for now. Go gather my drug puppets. There's someone I want killed. It's like, yes, sir. What does he look? And he goes, she is a red-haired kid. And his retainer's like, a kid? It's like, I don't know her name. I just want it done at once. Beat her to within an inch of her life, drag her here, and throw her at my feet. So you get to chapter 84, Parting Ways. And you see Riri's apparently having some nightmares as she sees a bunch of hands just grabbing at her. He's like, no, stay away! Help me! And then she imagines, Tetra being skewered through with a couple of swords. He's like, no, Tetra! And Then she sees Yona being cut down again and falling into her arms. And she wakes with a start with tears streaming down her eyes. And she looks over to the side and she notices, Tetra still kind of resting from her wounds. And she kind of crawls over to her so she can grab her hand. You see later that day is the Yidra going, "I've returned, Your Highness." And you see Yun putting some medicine on Yona's back. She goes, "Welcome back." He gets all embarrassed, like, "I'm so sorry, I'll leave at once." And Jeha's like, "Yona, may I come in?" He's like, "You'll do no such thing." He's like, "Of course, did you learn something?" And he just casually strolls in. And Yidра's like, Jeha's like, "Well, you see." He's like, "Jeha, stop!" He's like, "Are you well, young lady? Shall Zeno rub ointment on you?" And Yun's like, "I already did that." And Jeha's like, "Then I'll bandage her up." Poor Yidра's like, "All of you, just stop." And you see Huck just staring at her. He's like, "Spit it out, droopy eyes. Do you know where Hyo is?" You see Yona's getting all embarrassed. She's kind of like pulling the blankets up tighter. He's like, "Got one of the subordinates we captured sorry to talk. In addition to his business here, Hyo's got tons of shops in Sensui. He runs things from there." And Huck's just like still staring as he's munching on a biscuit or a cracker. And Yona gets embarrassed and goes, "Huck, face the other way." And he's like, "Your body's not that exciting, princess." And you have Gija going, "Turn away." Or no, sorry, it's Yona going, "Turn away." It's like, "Yes, all of you, look over there." And as Yona's getting dressed, she goes, "What's Sensui like?" It's like, "It's a poor town like this. Once a beautiful tourist spot, but now..." You see a little poink as Ao jumps over to Riri's head. And you have a Yona. It's like, "Riri." And she's like, "How are you feeling?" It's like, "I wasn't badly hurt." It's like, as if I'd believe that. It's like, "What about Tetra?" It's like, "She won't be back on her feet soon, but her condition has stabilized." It's like, "I see. So it could be worse." And Riri's like, "I'm taking her to Suiko." He's like, "Oh, I live in Suiko. She can rest and recover there." And you see Yona going, "Suiko, the capital. That does sound much safer." And he was like, "Oh," Suiko's like, "Wow, she's rich." And Yun's like, "Speaking of the capital, given everything that's happening in the coastal region of the Water Tribe territory, I have to wonder what the tribe chief is doing about it all." You have a Huck going, "General Anjungji. Couldn't say what he's doing, but he's a calm, careful person. He's dealing with the Kai Empire, so he can't act recklessly." "Yeah, but look at what's happening to his tribe." And you have Yona going, "Riri, we're going to Sensui." It's like, "Sensui?" It's like, "Hyo's doing business there too, not just here. I've heard that the coastal part of Sensui is so unsafe that it's impossible to do business there." And Riri's like, "But that's where he went? I'll bet Nadai's done as much harm there as it has here, if not more. I'll do whatever it takes to stop Hyo. That's the first step to saving the Water Tribe." She goes, "So I guess this is where we part ways, huh? Don't worry, we'll drive them out of the Water Tribe. Go get yourself somewhere safe. I'm sorry for getting you involved in something so dangerous." And she goes back to the room. Ira greets her with a, "Welcome back, Lady Riri." "Jeff, how's Tetra?" It's like, "The medicine's working. She's fast asleep." And you hear, "That group is heading to Sensui." It's like, "Lady Riri." It's like, "I'm powerless. That girl said she's going after Hyo. She told me to go someplace safe. There was nothing I could say. I'm so ashamed. I could never stand tall before her and tell her I'm the daughter of Anjungji, the Water Tribe chief. I want to be strong. If I can't protect my tribe, what's the point in belonging to the general's family?" And you see a rustle as Ira's packing up something. It's like, "Ira, why are you suddenly..." And you see her just hoisting Tetra over her shoulder. It's like, "Huh?" It's like, "What are you doing? That's too rough." And she goes, "We're returning to Suiko Palace." Well, of course, but try to be gentler with Tetra. She's not that fragile. You should hurry too." And you see "Hey, that hurts. So you need to explain yourself better, Ira." "Jeff, Tetra." It's like, "Lady Riri, please don't cry. You are the second most revered person in the Water Tribe. If you truly want stability for our people, there are things you alone can do." It's like, "There are?" It's like, "Suiko Palace is your domain, isn't it? So I would hardly say you're powerless." Is your eyes just brimming with tears as she goes, "Yeah, thanks, both of you. I'll hurry and pack my things. And you have Tetra going, oh dear, we're supposed to keep Lady Riri confined to her room. We're going to get fired. So if it comes to that, we'll go become bodyguards for hire, so hurry up and get better. So at least say you'll look after me. So that aside, Yona must be blessed somehow. Lady Riri's completely infatuated with her. It's like most of the men around her have the air of monsters. I wonder who she is. And you see, Your Highness, let me carry your things, as Arrow says, one of the monsters. He's like, no, I've got it. It's like, Yona, I can leap with you on my back. It's like, I'm fine. It's like, Yona, maybe we should stay until you're better. It's like, you're also overprotective. Everyone else has had more serious injuries than this. And Yona's like, you're human, they're monsters. And Gijo's like, he means you. And Huck's like, no, he's referring to you. And Xeno's like, it's all of us. And you see, Yona. It's like, Riri. It's like, are you leaving already? It's like, yes. Like, did she notice I called her by name for the first time? And she's like, take this with you. They're honey manju, a water tribe confection. He just gives her like a big pack. And Xeno's like, yay! It's like, I know you've had bad experiences here, but the water tribe lands truly are beautiful and we have many delicacies. And Yona's like, I know, I enjoy the hot springs. She was blushing. She's like, oh, you did? It's like, your sash is crooked. It's like, oh, it's like, my arms get tired too quickly for me to tie it properly. It's like, I guess I'll have to do it for you. And you have a, huh? It's odd, it came out crooked. It's like, don't you start from the bottom? It's like, hold on. It's like, huh? Again? It's like, you don't know how to tie it, do you? It's like, of course I do. I've seen Tetra do it countless times. It's like, does that mean you've never done it yourself? It's like, Ira did it for me today. It's like, oh, hush, I learned just fine from watching. You see it? And as Yona bursts out laughing as the sash is crooked once again. Do you have a, huh? Sounds like she's enjoying herself. And you hear Riri going, what are you laughing at? It's like, you're so funny, Riri. It's like, well, we're off now. As Yona turns away, she goes, be careful, all right? It's like, I will. It's like, you too. And you have a, just you wait. It's like, I'm going to, and you have a, thank you. It's like, do my best too. And as she waves goodbye, you see a look of determination on her face. So you have, young lady, do you know a red-haired girl who's staying at this inn? We believe she's about your age. And you hear, no, I don't, as these unsavory-looking guys have surrounded her. And they go, don't lie now. We hate liars. Liars get roughed up, you know. And she's silent before she goes, are you drug addicts? Or are you Hyo's minions who have hurt people I care about? Regardless, I won't let you stand in Yona's way. And as they all get mad, she goes, Ira! Okay, I assume that's Ira that came in. And you see Ira just comes sliding in as she slices down all the men with some dual swords. And she goes, we're heading back to Suiko Palace. And you see, I swear that I'll rid our tribe of that filthy drug. And you see at Suiko Palace, have you pinpointed Riri's whereabouts? It's like, I'm so sorry, we've yet to receive any information about... And you have Anjungji going, you should speak more softly. It's not very calm. It's like, yes, sir, but this isn't a calm situation. It's like, Riri has Ira and Tetra with her. They're beautiful, so we shouldn't have to worry. And he's like, I don't think beauty's relevant. You have Lord Jungji. It's like, must you go through life screaming? It's like, state your report in a calm. It's like, it's really Riri. She's returned. You have chapter 85 to Sensui. And you have Riri coming and going, I'm sorry for disobeying you. I've come back with a request. I want you to mobilize your troops to drive drug traffickers from our lands. And you hear the guard murmuring with a, Lady Riri. And you have An going, you're not being gentle and you're demanding soldiers. I have personally seen the horrors of a... Oh, so that's where you're going. I've personally seen the horrors of a drug called Nadai. The people it touches collapse physically and mentally. They become so hollow inside that they're apathetic at seeing a dead body. They kill each other at bars without batting an eye. Some people are forced to sell that terrible substance. And one of the people trafficking it stabbed Tetra. You have stabbed Tetra? That trafficker's name is Hyo. He bought Nadai to our people. He is the root of this evil. As we speak, he's hiding in the Sensui area. You must deploy your troops at once and drive him and other Kai Empire merchants from our lands. And An's silent for a moment before he goes, I can't do that. He's like, Father! He's like, Riri, this problem reaches far beyond the Water Tribe. If it had started among us, I could take care of it. But many powerful noblemen from South Kai are involved. If we act rashly, we could find ourselves at war with the Kai Empire. Jav, what about General Guntei of the Earth Tribe? He's like, what? It's like, General Guntei, if need be, you can ask for reinforcements. Both of our tribes are along the same coastal part of Koka. Kai wouldn't stand a chance against our combined. And he goes, that doesn't negate the danger of starting a war. What's more, I'd never ask Guntei for help. It's like, what about the king? It's like, I've made His Majesty aware of the situation here. But thanks to his recent battle, he has strengthened ties with the Earth Tribe and is trying to placate the Fire Tribe. I'm not sure I'm willing to trust him. Our lands were ignored during the reign of King Il. She's like, then the harbors. And he goes, Riri, you've seen very little of the world, but you think you understand it. You mustn't jump to conclusions so quickly. The situation is still far beyond your comprehension. Spend the next week in your quarters and calm yourself. You have escort her. It's like, at once. She goes, Father! And he goes, Lady Riri. It's like, I'm not getting through to him. He's not even trying to listen to what I have to say. He thinks I'm only a child, fretting over things I don't understand. She goes, Father, you say you're preventing a war, but people from our tribe are killing each other every day. She goes, I can't take it anymore. I don't have time for this. While I'm stuck here, I'm certain that she's out there fighting. She goes, don't just stay here explaining why I can't act. What matters is doing all we can to reach all the people who have lost themselves. If you decide to do this, I'll do whatever you need me to. And she goes, I'll fight right alongside you. And this is enough to finally shock him enough to open his eyes out. Open his eyes up, not out. And you see later as she's been locked away, he has a bam, 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 open up! Let me out! It's like, Father, listen to me! It's like, how many times have I done this? Ultimately, he refused to hear me. Nothing else I say will reach him either. And she thinks back to all of her experiences. And you see she heads to what I assume is a hidden wall. She kind of pushes it open. And she goes, Ira's secret door came in handy. It's like, Ira's confined his punishment. Tetra absolutely has to rest. I've got to go on my own. And you see a Lord Jungji, terrible news. It's like, you there, lower your voice. Be calm. It's like, Lady Riri is not in her chamber. It's like, oh, that girl. How did she get out? You have Lord Jungji, my lord, my lord. It's like, if you don't all calm yourselves, even I won't be able to think dispassionately. When you have the golden seal of water, symbol of your authority as chief. Excuse me, so much. Oh, God. We get like a scream painting reaction face from this mofo. As something's finally shocked him enough to react. As we're searching the entire palace, but we have yet to find it or your daughter. What should we do, Lord Jungji? It's like, Lord Jungji, and you see him just collapsing. As you see this like shining orb with like this dragon just perched on top of it. And you see someone putting the lid back on and tying it up into a bag. And you see that Riri's stolen it and she's commandeered a horse. And she goes, a symbol of the authority of the Water Tribe Chief. With it, I can enter any part of our tribe's territories and mobilize any station troops. Taking it is a grievous crime. I have no idea how I'll be punished for it, but this is the way I can fight. And you see later with the, it's like, Yun. You see Senna sneaking up behind him. He's like, God, you startled me. So you don't often want to talk to me. What is it? And he goes, you should examine Yona. He's like, huh? It's like, Yona, does your back hurt? He's like, I'm fine. He's like, your face is so pale. You see Huck taking her temperature. He goes, you're a bit warm. And she blushes again and goes, I'm fine. It's like, your face is red. Your temperature's rising. It's like, it is not. It's like, what'll we do? We're still a ways out from Sensui. Are there any inns around here? And you see Jeha going, I can go on ahead to an inn in Sensui and carry Yona with me. And Yun's like, oh, good idea. It's like, you guys can sense my location, right? And she's like, sorry about this, Jeha. Like, don't fret for no reason. Just get some rest. And he takes off with a leap. And he goes, let me know if the ride's too rough. And she's like, okay. And you see, if I jump too high, it'll put too much stress on her back when I land. I have to stay as low as possible. And you see, I see the ocean. It's like, huh? Like, it feels so nostalgic. Leaping in the air like this with you. Reminds me of Awa. And Java, same here. Back then, I thought you were just a fragile little thing. It's like, oh, what do you think of me now? And you see, as he looks over at her face, because their faces are very close to touching, and he goes, I'd rather not say. She's like, why? It's like, I want to know. And as he looks over, he sees a glint and a duck as an arrow goes flying by and nicks him in the shoulder. Do you have what? It's like, someone's targeting us. Keep your head down. He's like, who is it? Shooting at us while hiding is not what I'd call charming. He takes out one of his little knives and throws it at the archer. Jeff Jeha! So we have a problem. He's a Nadai addict. If I don't wound him fatally, he'll just keep coming. Nadai is like, ugh. Captain Gigon's philosophy really sank in. I don't want to kill anyone needlessly, but... And as he's debating this, you see someone looming behind him with a sword, and he dodges out of the way and kicks him. And you see, as he tosses him down, he tosses two knives straight into his head, and he goes, her life's on the line. I can't hold back. It's like, Jeha, they're coming again. He goes, I'll have to jump high. Bear with me, okay? It's like, okay. And you see later they landed at Swinsui when the rain is pelting down. And you have, well, this is a predicament. I didn't expect it to be raining. It's like, why did those men attack us? So maybe they were after me. It's like, you? Why? It's like, since those assassins were not addicts, Hyo might have been the one who sent them. It's like, he utterly loathes me. I wouldn't be surprised if he were desperate to kill me. It's like, if that's true, it might be too dangerous to move around Sensui freely. It's like, I'll take a little longer to find an inn, I'm sorry. It's like, I'm fine if I stay right here. And you see her shivering from the cold. And Jeha's like, cold? It's like, a little. He tries to get all flirty. He's like, shall I warm you up? Just undress. It's like, I'll pass. And he sees her shivering some more. And he draws her in close and goes, I guess now's not the time for jokes, And he wraps a blanket around her and goes, I'm glad I bought a blanket. Is that a bit better? And she goes, yes. It's like, you're always so warm, Jeha. It's like, I hope the others catch up with us soon. And he goes, I don't want to tell you how I think about you. That's why Java, I hope so too. As we get to chapter 86, Shaped by Those We Meet. Java, took you long enough. As you see the others finding the little hiding spot. And Huck goes, we didn't expect to find you hiding here. So we were attacked by Hyo's assassins, we think. Is it what? It's like, under the circumstances, searching for an inn was dangerous, so we waited here for you. And Sina's like, Yona, you look pale. It's like, I'm just a bit chilled. I'm fine. And you see Xena just coming and giving her a hug. And I was like, warm up. It's like finding an inn. So you see, poor Sinha's like taking off his little fur jacket and giving it to Yona as well, so she can get warmer. It's like, if finding an inn's going to be difficult, we'll have to camp outside. This is a problem. Yona's like, how come? It's like, as we were entering Sensui, we got a look at the town. And you hear an eek! It's like, huh? That's a girl's voice. Java, let go! And you see these two people outside trying to grab this girl. And Jeha comes in and kicks them both in the face. Java, are you hurt, miss? He's like, no. It's like, what in the world happened? It's like, I'm not sure. They tried to grab me and they're so strong. They said they'd take me even though I don't have red hair. And you have, they're hunting a red-haired girl? It's like, meaning Yona. It's like, Hyo sent assassins after her highness? It's like, it seems so. He might have influenced more people here than Ishii-sen. It's like, Sensui does seem more run down than she said. It's like, attacking women at random is beyond despicable. Attacking them to get to me? And you see everyone's kind of just silent and moody. And Yun's like, your injuries are still healing. You can't... It's like, could you please rewrap my bandages? And Yun's like, huh? It's like, sure. It's like, Yona, it's like, everyone. I know I'm inexperienced that could cause trouble for all of you, but please lend me your strength. And Gita's like, I saw you no reason not to. It's like, Hyo's searching for me, but we're also searching for him. So, let's make some noise to let him know the red-haired girl is here. And you see later a splish as Riri stabling her horse. And she's getting caught in the rain in Sensui. It's like, well, here I am in Sensui, and it's pouring. It's like, when I came here as a child, I thought this town was so cheerful and beautiful. Now it's grim and filthy. I wanted to use the golden seal of water to get the troops to arrest the traffickers as soon as possible. But it seems that won't be as easy as I'd hoped. Then you again see two delinquent-looking guys walking up to her. As they go, who are you people? It's like, have Father's men already caught up with me? It's like, no, they're not from Suiko Palace. It's like, say something. And they go, do you know a red-haired girl? It's like, red-haired? I don't know. I don't. Now let me pass. It's like, red hair? Assassins attacked me when I left the inn in Shisen too. Are they still searching for her? And you see one of them trying to reach out to grab her. And she kind of jerks away and goes, don't touch me! And she sees their predatory-looking eyes and runs away. Goes, I can't afford to be caught! And you see one of them lashes out with a knife and almost cuts her. Oh, he just managed to cut all of her supplies and things off her. It's like, my things! The golden seal of water! And you see as he's getting ready for another strike, you see someone walking nearby with an umbrella. Oh, this must be Suwon, that motherfucker, incognito again. And you see a oops, as the motherfucker that is most guaranteed to be Suwon trips the guy, and he goes, or trips up both the attackers and they go falling. Jeff, hey, are you alright? It's too slippery underfoot to run in this rain. And as the thug picks up his sword with a gra, mysterious blondie points his umbrella at him and goes, that's dangerous. Why are you behaving so violently in the middle of town? He's like, I'll kill you! Kill you! And you see him just dodging around going, calm down, you're awfully quick to anger. Do you have a and a gah as he just whacks him with the umbrella. And you see as the other thug is getting up behind, ready to strike, you see another mysterious masked, or not masked, hatted stranger cutting both of them down. And you have, are you hurt? You have, nicely done, Judo. He's like, you're unbelievable! You thought you'd just go for a stroll alone? Then you got in a fight with some ruffian with no weapon but an umbrella? And he's like, you need to take your job more. He's like, General, or Judo, you're too loud. He goes, you there, are you all right? And he holds the umbrella over her. And he goes, oh, you're... And she goes, oh, my things. And she goes and grabs the stuff. And you see Suwon just holding up the pouch. And she snatches it back and goes, the golden seal of water. He's like, are you? It's like, you saved me. You have my gratitude. This should fetch you a good price. Goodbye. She just throws him like a little necklace. And he goes, such splendid craftsmanship. Few people have necklaces with this much gold. But then, your Lady Riri, daughter of the Water Tribe's chief. And she just goes running off full tilt. And Suwon takes her with a, huh? Wait, what's the matter? Were you traveling in secret? Excuse me. And she goes, who are you? Did my father send you to retrieve me? It's like, retrieve you? What? It's like, please wait, hear me out. It's like, no, it's no use trying to take me back. It's like, you misunderstood. My name is Juan. I'm a merchant. I do business in the city of Suiko. I've seen you around Suiko Palace, that's all. I'm in Sensui because I heard it was business town. What in the world happened here? I thought you might have some insight, Lady Riri. She goes, you really aren't one of my father's goons? Excuse me. He might not, but he's probably equally as dangerous. And he's like, goons? It's like, right, I'm only a humble merchant. It's like, and them, they don't exactly look like merchants. He's like, they're my bodyguards. These are dangerous times. And she's like, do you have an ulterior motive for approaching me? And he goes, he always has an ulterior motive. If I wanted to do something to you, I would have done it by now. I just want to know what the situation is here. It's like, look, how about this? Hire us as your bodyguards. I see no sign of anyone escorting you, and someone's on your tail. Going around alone is dangerous. You've seen for yourself how strong they are. If you provide us with information, we'll protect you. Besides, this necklace is far too valuable for what small assistance I gave you. And she's like, it's too reckless for me to move freely here without Ira and Tetra. I have no one else to turn to. And he doesn't seem to be one of Hyo's men. She goes, I accept. I'll hire you and your men, but I'm not sure I know anything that valuable. And he's like, any information at all is fine. And you hear your Master Wan. And Judo comes up to him and whispers, didn't we come only to investigate Sensui? We can't stay here long enough to be your guards. And he goes, we can hardly leave General Jungji's daughter by herself. Besides, we can find out about Sensui and Suiko. It's 2 birds with 1 stone. And she's like, what? It's like, as we walk, please fill us in on the situation of the Water Tribe and Sensui. And you have a throb as Hyo's being all dramatic and bitchy. Going, my scar is throbbing. And you have one of his goons bringing in a small dark-haired girl and going, sir, I have the girl. It's like, no, it's not her. Red hair, I said. Why can't you capture a single girl? Master Hyo, we found her. A red-haired girl was reportedly spotted in the town of Sensui. And he's like, what? Right now, bring her right now. I'll tear her to shreds. He's like, well, not a single one of the drug puppets we've sent has returned. He's like, what? Why not? Did they run out of drugs? It's like, I'm not quite certain, but they mentioned monsters. And you see Gija's just large dragon hand just kind of looming. Yeah, they say the red-haired girl's being protected by monsters. And you see Gija lashing out with his claw and slicing down some of the goons. And Hawk doing the same with his glaive. And Sinha and Jeha. And you see Zeno with just like a block of wood just going, bonk, and take this. It's like, White Snake, your armor isn't exactly low profile. It's like, I don't care. First they injured Her Highness and now they're targeting her. Either would be unforgivable. I'll beat that lesson into them. It's like, Gija, stop making that face. And you have a crash. Now, So what was that? Some sort of uproar over there? Shall we investigate? And you see Riri going in uproar. It's like, no, you should steer clear. It's like, oh? It's like, it's likely some unfortunate addicts. They tend to cause trouble. We'll need to deal with them eventually. But we don't have time for that right now. Let's avoid them as best we can. And Suwon's like, but... It's like, if you're my bodyguard, do as I tell you. And he's like, all right. He kind of glances back one final time before following her. And you see Sinha behind him as he disappears, cutting down some more of the goons. As we get to chapter 87, Pursuit. And you see, I see, so that Hyo person is spreading drugs throughout the coastal towns of the Water Tribe. That's Suwon talking. And Riri's like, yes, he's probably behind all the Nadai trafficking. He's horrible and dangerous. He stabbed my attendant. I don't know exactly when or where, but he'll be making a deal with South Kai merchants in Sensui soon. It's like, I see. It's like, oh, could I have some red bean soup? And Judo's like, you too. Do you honestly think this is a good time for a sweet shop break? And Riri's like, we had to stop. I've been on horseback for most of the day. I'm hungry and cold. And Suwon's like, sweets are the best pick-me-up. Would you like some dumplings, Judo? And he slams his fist down. He's like, no! It's like, this guy you hired has an awfully short temper. It's like, I find him amusing. It's like, now that we've looked at so many parts of this town, I see what's so strange about Sensui. It's the first town I've been to where everyone has such hollow eyes. And Riri goes, Nadai destroys the mind and body. It even changes people's personalities. I repeatedly asked my father to take action, but he ignored me. I won't rely on him anymore. I'm here to prevent our beautiful land from being further poisoned by other nations. And Suwon's like, by yourself? It's like, are you saying I'm reckless? He's like, well, I imagine General Chungji is in a difficult position. But reckless or not, I don't see anything foolish about trying to change the status quo when it's harmful. If you truly care about the Water Tribe, I don't think you should hesitate to do all you can. He goes, mind you, I think General Junji cares about the Water Tribe too. And Riri's like, you're much more grounded than you appear. He's like, huh? You come across as pampered and delicate, so I thought that might reflect your nature. And he's like, that's terrible. It's like, but now, I feel more confident. It's like, thank you. It's like, not at all. Now then, we need to locate Hyo and learn when he's making his deal. It's like, right. Oh, maybe we should try to meet up with that girl. And you see, what girl? It's like, I met a small group of people who are fighting the drug traffickers. They're traveling performers. It's like, they sound interesting. It's like, they're probably here in town. They might have already obtained information about Hyo. It's like, great, let's look for them. So can you describe them? It's like, well, they're strange, not quite human. You'll know them if you see them. They really stand out. One is a girl around my age. Do you have an O? And you see later, still? You still haven't captured her? I dispatched all of my puppets. Master Yo. It's like, what? It's like, your assassins. They've been utterly defeated. It's like, what? Those people are inhuman. They trounced our strongest men in 5 seconds. And he's like, seconds? My strongest drug puppets? And he faints. He's like, how is that possible? Who are these people? All I want is to tear that girl apart. And he's just got tears streaming down his face. He's being all melodramatic. And Java, that might have been a bad idea. It's like, the injustice of the world is so unfair. What should I do? And Java, you should flee. And the tables have turned, sir. They're looking for you now. It's like, I've gathered more puppets from other towns, but sooner or later they'll be defeated too. It's like, those people have come this far. It's like, you must be joking. I'm striking a deal with Kai in 2 days. He's like, Kai. The noblemen there still support me. He goes and just takes a seat and writes out a letter and goes, send a messenger to South Kai. He's like, yes, sir. He leans back with a phoo. And he's like, I don't know what's with the ridiculous faces this volume, but I am living for it. And you see him just laughing giddily as he goes, whew, oh dear, will I wind up ruling the Water Tribe territories? This place will likely become a South Kai colony. Could be amusing to turn On Junji into my puppet. But I must deal with that girl first. How shall I kill her? And Jeff, it's been a full day since the last assassin came. We still haven't found Hyo though. So that's a problem. His assassins keep refusing to tell us where he is. It's like, Yona, how do you feel? It's like, I'm fine. It's like, you are not. After all the travel and getting drenched in the rain, there's no way. It's like, even I know that much. It's like, It's like, let's stay in an inn tonight. It's like, what? Outdoors is fine. It's like, we can't face the next fight if you're still exhausted. And Yona's like, okay. It's like, huh? You're full? It's like, I'm terribly sorry. We booked our last room not long ago. It's like, I see. This seemed like the smallest and cheapest inn too. It's like, looking at the rates, it's not that cheap anyway. It's like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, these things happen, Yun. Let's go. And you see, you can't be serious. We're meant to share this cramped little room? And you have Suwon going, it is what it is. This was the only room available. Won't you feel safer for all together? It's like, no, I will not. I'm not even married. If something were to happen, Suwon's like, impossible. It's like, your bluntness is annoying. It's like, you're never happy, are you? And you have what was that? It sounded like it came from below. And Judo's like, I'll check it out. It's like, I'll go too. This is a job for bodyguards. Oh, sorry, that's Suwon and Judo. Suwon saying, I'll check it out. And going, I'll go too. And Suwon goes, this is a job for bodyguards. And he goes downstairs and peeks his head around and goes, hello, is anyone there? And you see Jeha has the front desk merchant face down on the desk with his arm locked behind him. Jeha, please stay back. He's like, are there guests here? Sorry for being noisy while you were sleeping. And he's like, who are you? He's like, someone who'd hoped to stay at this inn. I saw something bad. It's like, how so? It's like spiked rice wine. And you see Suwon picking up the jug as he goes, is it Nadai? It's like, you know of it? I learned about it when I came to this town. And you see, let me go, I don't know anything. He's like, you've had this and sold it to guests without knowing what it is? Where did you get it? And he kind of just arm bars, levers his arm again. He's like, ow, ow, ow! It's like from a shop called Utsuro in Lot 3. They said it was good rice wine. And you have, this guy isn't an addict. He just got his hands on some spiked rice wine. If he was working for Hyo, he wouldn't have let Yona go. And you see, hey, what's up, baby girl? My baby girl is in here with me today with the recording, so she wants some pets. As at the very least, we should dump this. And you see Jae-ha just be like, yes. As Suwon just dumps all the rice wine out. And you see, check all the rice wine in the place. It's like, I don't know what to look for, so we smash them all to be safe. It's like, stop that! You see them just emptying out his entire stock. It's like, oh, look at this, jade rice wine. Its quality is legendary. It's like, that's an amazing one. Perhaps we should hang on to it. And you see them just bonding and laughing together. Judo's like, why is he wasting time with this random man? It's like, where are you from? This town's inns are dangerous. I suggest you move on as soon as possible. And he goes, thanks for the concern. I'll do that. So where are you? And he goes, bye. Jeff, oh, wait. He tries to follow him out, but Jae-ha's disappeared. Java, he's gone? He's a quick one. It's like he seemed to be looking into Nadai. It's like, this is unfortunate. I had more questions for him. And you see Riri poking her head out and going, Juan, did something happen? And he goes, this place was serving Nadai. It's like, what? But I saw no signs that he was controlling the actual inn. Oh, sorry, it's Suwon going, but I saw no signs that he was controlling the actual inn. It should be safe to stay. It's like, was someone else here? It's like, yes, a man had noticed the Nadai-laced rice wine. He was questioning the innkeeper. Quite a flamboyant individual, especially with that green hair. It's like, green hair? It's like, was he tall and wearing black Kai Empire clothing? It's like, he was. It's like, it's him. It's like, do you know him? It's like, that sounds like one of the traveling performers I mentioned. It's like, a shame about the timing. Looks like you just missed him. It's like, ah! It's like, don't worry. I know where he might go. It's like, huh? And you see back with Yona, it's like a shop called Utsuro in Lot 3. It's like, yep, he was probably not there himself, but the innkeeper said he bought the drugged rice wine there. It's probably worth checking out. Yeah, but it is. Tomorrow at Utsuro in Lot 3. And you see the next day with let's get going. Jeff, what's wrong, Sinha? As Sinha's like looking around, he wanders off. Jeff, what's up? It's like, you go ahead, I'll catch up. It's like, all right. It's like, Zeno will look too. And Huck follows and goes, what is it? Do you see something out there? And Sinha goes, ships are coming. It's like, ships? From beyond the sea. Many, many ships are heading this way. And you see with Riri going, Utsuro. Should be around here. It's like, I don't see the shop or any people. It's like, I wonder if that girl is coming. She's injured and Nadai addicts have targeted her, so she might not be able to. It's like, I suspect the green person we saw yesterday will turn up. It's like, oh, that girl. She's not terribly strong, but she tries so hard. It's like, you said she was about your age, right? Mm-hmm. She has red hair. Her name is Yona. And you see Suwon just completely shocked and taken aback. And you have, oh, there she is. Because you spot Yona's group walking nearby. And you have, Riri, what are you doing here? It's like, isn't it obvious? I came to clobber Hyo. He's like, what? Where are Ira and Tetra? It's like, it's fine. I hired bodyguards. Over there, see? Yona's like, bodyguards? Then she also exchanges a shocked look as she exchanges glances with Suwon. And you have Eyes the Color of the Same Sea, chapter 88. And you have ships, merchant ships owned by the people Hyo does business with. They're bringing lots of ships. That's a real problem. Zeno, tell the princess and the others about this. It's like, sure, what'll you be doing? It's like, if they're South Kai merchant ships, it's possible that Hyo might show up. We'll keep an eye on the harbor and the shoreline for a while. Get going. It's like, okay. You see, Riri, who are these people? It's like, oh, I'll introduce you. These are my bodyguards, Juan, Judo, Juan, and Guk. It's like, Juan, these are my friend, our associates, Yona and her merry band of traveling performers. It's like, Juan came here on business. He intervened when he was attacked by ruffians. You can see that Judo and the others are also taken aback by this. And you can see Judo throwing a sharp glance over at Suwon. As Jae-ha goes, oh, it's you. We met last night, didn't we? It's like, you know him? It's like, I saw him at the inn last night. I didn't know he was Riri's bodyguard. And you see her going, see, don't they stand out? It's like, Juan? He's like, huh? It's like, oh, yes, they do. Yes. And do you have any leads on where Hyo is? It's like, not yet. That's what we came here to look for. It's like, I see. And you see JL looking questioningly at Yona, I suppose. And you have a young lady. It's like, Zeno. Huh? Where's Thunder Beast and Sinha? It's like, there's trouble, maybe. It's like, why maybe? And you have out at sea. And Zeno's also looking in surprise. Has Zeno met Suwon before? I don't recall them having ever met. But he also looks at him in surprise for some reason. It doesn't look like Suwon recognizes him. He looks questioning at him, like, why is he staring at him? You have, what's out at sea? He's like, oh, right. There are lots of ships heading here from beyond the sea. He's like, are you sure? Where are they from? It's like, we don't know. The young men are watching to see if Hyo comes out to meet them. It's like, are they the people Hyo is dealing with? It's like, it sounds like an unusual number of ships, though. And you hear, Riri, is there an outlook nearby where we can see the ocean? It's like, yes. And you see Yona saying, take me there. And she dashes away. And Judo's like, young Master Juan, what should we do? He goes, nothing. At the moment, we're Lady Riri's bodyguards. Let's go. So that's not what I meant. You have Judo going, shut up and follow orders. It's like, yes, sir. And you see as they head out to one of the, I think it's called a pagoda. The big, tall, tower thing there. And they rush up to the top to look for the ships. Yeah, they're too far away to see clearly, but they're definitely South Kai ships. So that's a lot of merchant ships just to make a deal. It's like maybe they're doing a group tour. So do they plan to start a war? And she thinks back to her father saying we could find ourselves at war with the Kai Empire. It's like, no way. Them bringing so many people here without informing the general or the king just reeks of trouble. We've already got our fans full with Hyo. And you see Juan going, shall we get them to leave then? It's like, yeah, I think we should. It's like, I dare say Hyo will show up eventually. And you see Riri just looking shocked going, huh, wait? It's like, they're probably bothering the locals. It's like, and how exactly will you do that? There's so many ships. It's like, that's true. It's like, Riri, it's like, don't worry, we'll deal with them. You should wait somewhere safe. He's like, I don't want to. I'm here to fight too. I may not be very strong, but I love this land with all my heart. Let me fight with you. He's like, Riri. And you see Juan gently tapping her on the shoulder and going, of all of us here, you have the greatest ability to save the water tribe. He's like, huh? I'll do what little I can to assist you. And you see Yona kind of just glaring at him going, step away from Riri. What exactly do you intend to do? And you have, Yona, what? And you see Suwon going, just now my intentions align with those of everyone else here. It's like, Lady Riri, do you know any wealthy people in this town? It's like, huh? Why? It's like, I want you to borrow several ships from them. Can you do that? It's like, I'll do what I can. It's like, also, I'd like to talk to the local fishermen. It's like, what do you think? You'll sail out there and face the fleet head on? It's like, hardly. But if we don't get out there, we can't ask them to leave. It's like, ask them, All right, we'll try to negotiate something. And you have one more thing. It's like, what is it? And Yona's like, Yona, let's go. And you have Yona? And she goes, I'm not leaving Riri. And you see Suwon's apparently taken aback by this. It's like, Yon, I want you and the others to negotiate with the fishermen. It's like, then I'll stay with you, your highness. It's like, no, Gija, they'll need you over there. Go with them. It's like, but I can't. It's like, if you're concerned about our safety, my bodyguards are excellent. They'll protect Yona as well. It's like, and the young lady has Zeno with her. He's like, you? It's like, Zeno will guard her with his life. If anything goes wrong, he can signal you mentally. He's like, but it's like, if Zeno says he'll risk his life, the young lady will come to no harm. On the Yellow Dragon's honor. And Gija goes, I have faith in you. As they go running off. And Riri goes, we should get going too. And you have, do wealthy people live here? It's like, no, they're not wealthy. It's like, then why are we here? Lady Riri, wait. It's like, I've planned all along to ask the merchants of Sensui for help. I did some research, and today, she just slams the door open. The Sensui Commerce Association is holding one of their regular meetings. And you see a bunch of men gathered around in the square. You have, what's the fuss? This is a meeting, not a playground. You have, how rude. It's like, time is short, so I'll be blunt. As we speak, a large fleet of ships we believe to be from South Kai is approaching Sensui. You have a what? We're gathering ships to stop them. Your merchant ships will do nicely. Please lend us all you have. So what's this now? Are these people fools? Whose daughter are you? He's like, you're Koan, aren't you? You recently came to Suiko on business. And he's like, what? Oh, so it's Riri going, it's me. You know who my parents are, don't you? And the guy looks at him and goes, oh, wait, are you? It's like, no, of course I don't know you. And you see her getting all embarrassed. It's like, that's harsh, Koan. It's like, if I don't know, I don't know. And you see them all laughing as you have, terrible news! There's a fleet of South Kai ships offshore. It's like, really? It was true? And you see her like clenching her fist. She goes, don't back down. She goes, it's just as I said. I need ships immediately. Please lend them to me. It's like, don't give in. Like, why would we lend them to some strange girl? It's like, if you do, we'll drive that fleet back. He's like, this isn't funny anymore. It's ridiculous. Get out. And he kind of makes a shooing gesture. It's like, but South Kai ships? Why are they coming here? Is it Hyo's doing? This time he might crush our association. And Ryu's like, hold on, listen to me. So what do? We should give up on Sensui and move elsewhere. Maybe if we prepare an offering. And then Riri gets mad, slams her fist on the wall, goes, listen! And Suwon's like, you startled me. It's like, understand? It's like, we have no time. Hyo has controlled your businesses and lives for years. And now South Kai is coming to make Sensui. Well, I'm here to deal with Hyo. I came because I care about the Water Tribe. Are you going to let this happen? Are you going to roll over and let them take everything? They go, but whenever we put together a vigilante committee, Hyo always puts an end to it. If we send out ships and they retaliate, we'll all be killed. It's like, I understand. You're cowards, so I'll try and save your skins. I'm going to bring the troops that are stationed on the outskirts of Sensui. Have your ships ready and waiting. And you see them all shocked with a murmur, what? And you see Suwon and Yona also taken aback by this. So yeah, she's babbling more nonsense. These soldiers have never done anything for us. Not even the Water Tribe chief has been able to fix things here. The troops won't come no matter how much money you have. And she goes, answer this yes or no. If I bring the troops, will you lend me your ships? And you see with the Huck, it's like, there you are. So things are heating up. It's about time. Oh, it's about time to cut loose again. So where's her highness? So we ran into Riri. She went to gather some ships. So hold on. If Droopy Eyes and White Snake are here, who's with a princess? Yeah, Riri has skilled bodyguards with her. We need to deal with that fleet. So, bodyguards? I can't trust her with strangers. I'm going. He goes, you can trust them. Zeno swore on his honor as the Yellow Dragon. It'll be all right. So we have chapter 88 end. Alright, so I guess quick thoughts before we move on to the next volume here. So a lot of like plot progression movement this chapter as we see Yona and Ko heading to Sensui to catch up with Hyo. So I like that we're kind of seeing again like a little bit more of Yona's development as she wants to be stronger and more independent. She doesn't want to have to rely on the dragons for everything. Like, she wants to be able to take care of herself, not be a burden. So I like we're getting like that steady kind of progression with her arc, where she's trying to get like more confidence and independence so that she can contribute more to the group. So I like that. I also like how she's inspired Riri to also do the same, to have more confidence in herself, try to do whatever she can to help, despite being limited by age, experience, all that stuff. So I really like those moments. So yeah, Yona and Suwon keep like kind of just coincidentally running into each other. I guess I shouldn't be surprised that of course he would be, also in the town undercover, trying to investigate what was happening. I didn't think they were going to quite meet again so quickly in such a short span of time, but I'm not complaining. Their awkward interactions are as awkward as can be expected. Although I'm more interested in seeing what happens when Huck meets him, because I think that would be a much more, what's the word I'm looking for? Fraught interaction than with Yona. But I do love the kind of like momentary thing of shock he has when he realized that Yona doesn't trust him with Riri, doesn't trust his intentions. Which like while she might have moved on, to a certain extent, and might understand that that he's not a bad king necessarily, she still hasn't fully forgiven him for his role in her father's death, and like the way he ascended to power, and the fact he's been kind of like manipulating them all along. So there's still some lingering resentments and things there that they have to still kind of iron out. So that was interesting. The one thing I did want to comment on that I didn't really talk about last chapter, like we didn't really get more development or much more on the drug aspect side of things. So there's kind of two small things I want to talk about with regards to that. First is, I feel like Hyo was a little bit too like, I feel like Hyo's villainy was undercut a little bit too much with like the amount of like melodrama around his actions and like how he was acting and like his reactions to everything with like the shocked face. I feel like it undercut his menace a little bit, like the whole thing of Yona being like, oh, I've never seen someone that looks so angry and like stuff at me. Like the way he's reacted and the way he's being treated so calmly, he kind of undercuts his villainy a little bit. So I'm kind of like, it's only a couple of pages in the volume, so I don't want to be too harsh on it, but I just want to kind of put that out there to say hopefully that changes and improves. You can see Emma kind of just sniffling around back there. Yes, what do you want, baby? I'll talk to you after I'm done recording. Okay. The other thing I was thinking about that just kind of occurred to me as I was finishing up the volume is we see all of the goons that are being sent after Yona and them being referred to as like, like, oh, they're the Nadai zombies, this and that. And, Yona and Co don't really have like much issue or much concern with like being able to cut them down so easily. I think that kind of ties into part of my problem with what I was saying last chapter about like, how there's no real nuance to like the drug aspects of this, especially because the implication being like, the goons that were going around like being turned into zombies, the implication seems to be so far that they were always have been and always were terrible men, who were addicted to the drug and kind of got used to that, who were addicted to the drug forcefully to kind of just turn them into like, more efficient goons, I guess I want to say. But I feel like that's not the case always. It's kind of simplifies a more complex issue with regards to drug use and who gets kind of vilified for it, like how they get vilified by it as well. So it feels a little weird and a little off-putting to have just like these mindless kind of like faceless thugs whose kind of only personality trait quirk is that they're addicted to not die and they're apparently just thugs for hire that go around doing whatever they're told, and that Yona and Lako don't have any real problem cutting them down. Because I feel like, again, given that most of the storyline around Nadai has been emphasizing that most people are forcibly addicted to this without their knowledge. It's not something they go and seek out. Like you see with the innkeeper, that it's something that gets spiked into their drink and they're forcefully addicted to it to create a market. So I feel like there should be a little bit at least more nuance and sympathy towards these people, being sent out as zombies to further Hyo's goals, and being seen as kind of like the faceless henchman. So again, a little bit disappointing in that specific regard with how it's been handled so far, but I kind of want to wait to like do a real critique on it until the arc stuff wraps up. So once it does, I'll probably either dive into it in that video when the volume ends, or I might just do like a separate mini video talking about it. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there and talk about it specifically because, again, I think if you're going to tackle a topic like drug use, you do have a responsibility to, address the nuances of it, not just kind of do a black and white sketch has been done so far. But yeah, apart from that, I did really love Yona kind of giving him a matching scar and kind of like, showing that level of confidence. Really enjoyed that. Looking forward to the next volume, the continuation of this arc. So I'll end it there. Like I mentioned at the start, expect the volume 16 and 15 to probably drop tomorrow on the channel. As always, if you like my content, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Until next time, this is Ash. I'll talk to you all later.